Hey there everyone, this is the latest video I'm making for a machine that's going to be posted onto Craigslist. And like all of my machines, I have gone through the machine and restored all of the different systems in the machine. So I do full overhauls, not just spot repairs. This machine was found, I believe this was through an estate sale. And this is, if you don't recognize this machine, this is the Singer 301. There are three straight stitch Singers that are known particularly for their rotary hook stitch. Quilters particularly and garment sewers really love them for this reason. And this machine is interesting. It has several things of note about it. It's the last all-new Singer model that was ever introduced that they put in the color black. Now this machine you could get in light beige, two-tone of light beige oyster white, or the black color that you see. And after, this is 1950, 51, and after this machine came out, any subsequent new models that Singer brought out, none of them were available in black. As many of you know, for most of the history of sewing machines, almost all of them were in black, just like cars were. But by the time you get to the 1950s, a lot of the companies are going with lighter colors. So that's kind of something noteworthy about it. One of the things I've noticed is that people tend to pay higher prices for the black versions of this machine than the other colors, and I'm not sure why, because they're the same. I love the two-tone myself, but it could be, however, I think one of the reasons that the black color 301s, like this one, are slightly more popular may have to do with the fact that this machine came out as a successor to, and it was sold alongside the Singer Featherweight. Now, in the world of vintage sewing machines, there are very few machines that were ever made that were portable that you could literally pick up with one hand. Most of them are very heavy. And the first one, of course, was the Singer Featherweight. And it had an all-steel construction but aluminum body, which made it lightweight. Well, so does the Singer 301. In fact, this is the only other vintage sewing machine other than the Featherweight that is portable. It has a built-in handle. It has all-steel, very high-quality steel drivetrain and gears, but the body is aluminum, and that made it, you can see me lifting it up pretty easily here, that made it lightweight, very lightweight for a vintage machine. And it was designed to be a portable machine you could take places. Of course, you can put it in a Singer table as well. And the other thing to tell you about this machine is that it is the only other machine ever designed and built that has the same shuttle and bobbin system that the Singer Featherweight does. And so it uses featherweight bobbins, and it was designed to. It has the same shuttle hook. So a lot of its stitch quality is exactly like the Featherweight. The difference is, of course, is that this machine is about 2 pounds heavier, but it's still very lightweight. And it has a stronger motor, and it's taller. The other thing it gives you is a wider throat space. Some of you might call this the harp space, but it's the space between the needle and the main arm of the machine. And that is important because if you want to do more than, say, quilting squares, which many people do on Featherweights. The Featherweight is a legendary machine. I just sold one, actually. But if you want more space, then the Singer 301 would be a logical successor or choice for you. So anyway, I'm going to show you guys, if you're new to the machine, there is a light switch. Light works beautifully, but I'm in the sunroom. I won't be using it today. You have stitch length control in reverse. You have a bobbin winder on the front. You have tension control on the front, and it's a wonderfully simple and easy machine to use. And you also have seam markings. They had actually started to put seam measured markings here on the needle plate, which makes it a little more convenient. You don't have to put tape down and ruin the aesthetics of your machine. So anyway, I'm going to start out. I'm just going to run some fabrics through here for you guys to show you the machine's capability. And this is 2 layers of sort of a lightweight cotton fabric, something many of you would sew with. And you can see me moving. I've got I can slow the needle down like this, or I can go fast. And I'll come back over here. I have it on long stitch length right now. And you can see it goes really fast, and I'll back tack here. Then I'm going to come over and I'm going to do a shorter stitch. One of the things that Singer rotaries do incredibly well, and almost no other machine can really touch them, is how they do their short stitches. you can get one of the finest short stitches you'll ever see. You can use this for sewing a t-shirt with any kind of stretch fabric. And some of you who do embroidery, and I'm going to show you this. I'll pull this up in a minute, you can see. And then, of course, you can also do free motion work. You can lower the feed dogs on this machine. You don't cover them like you would on the Featherweight. And you can do free motion work. And this machine is known as a great free motion sewer. So I'm going to pull this out. Before I do any more, I want you guys to see, and should have good light today, you'll see the long length stitch, as well as this short length stitch that I'm just going on and on about. Very few machines can pull this off. And again, it's the Singer rotary hook. You can see the other side here. And it's just an amazing machine. Now I'm going to fold this over. We'll do 4 layers. Again, this is 4 layers of a lightweight fabric, and any vintage machine, including this one, is not going to have any problems. Let's take a look here. I'll go back to long. Let me turn around, come back again. And I don't know if you can see, this is my one on the other side. So here is, again, that's through 4 layers, and I was looking for my other side. I don't know if you can see the pink thread there. I'll go ahead and add a couple more layers. It's not going to, be 6 layers. And again, this is nothing for a vintage machine. Now, you've seen me when I do videos, many of my machines, I sell them to people who want to do heavy-duty work. And in fact, I'm getting ready to create an even heavier marine version. I'll explain that when I do the video on it, of the Singer 66. And I'm going to show you guys some thicker stuff here in a minute, but this machine really, it is just, when you do garment sewing, you do really formal gowns, you do quilting, that's where this machine is really just legendary. You can sew heavier stuff. You could even sew some garment leather with this machine, but if you're going to own a 301, it's really it really shines in just when you're doing really more formal stitching, where your stitching really counts in terms of how it looks. And I'll just back tack here for us, and I'll come back around. Just cross over my stitch there. Very powerful, very fast, particularly for a vintage machine. Usually, the further back in time you go, the lower the RPMs on sewing machines were, and that had to do with the way their motors were designed. So here you can see that's 6 layers, and again, it didn't really miss a beat at all. Let's see. Now I'm going to take, this is a heavier and denser fabric. This is sort of I suspect this would have been used either for upholstery or probably drapery. It's like a window treatment fabric. Just going to hold it up for you guys. It's a linen weave. It's not a linen. I think this is a heavy cotton. And I'm going to go ahead and instead of 2, I'm just going to go ahead and put 4. Now that's 4 layers of a much heavier weight fabric. And I'm doing this because I want you to see that this machine can do a lot more than silk and taffeta and lightweight cottons. It's, I'm going to start out slow here. And even through this, it goes through beautifully, very thick. And I'll come back. So now you can see, again, it's not just the lightweight fabrics. I think because of the look of the stitch, and we'll see what shows up. I have a pink bobbin thread, and it's almost the same lightness of this beige, so it doesn't show up well, but you can see the power of the machine. And then lastly, see how much time I've got here. Lastly, I wanted to do this. I often do this test with my machines because whenever you're sewing through a variety of density, this is part of an old cargo pant, and I've used it before, but I've got blue thread here, so it should show off really well. You're going to have sort of a medium cotton, this is from a pair of cargo pants, some khakis, and you're going to have that really dense seam, and then there's going to be another one on the other side. So it's going to be going through 2 seams, and what you want to see is the consistency and the quality of the stitch. So for those of you who sew over things like pants and heavy dense seams like this, you really are going to want a machine that's not going to lose its tension. So let's see what she does. Guess I can do my back tacking here as well. Come back across the other side. And it just runs right over it. But what I really want you to see is, I want you to see the stitch as it comes across that seam. And so you'll notice that as it comes across, it looks the same. Even though the density of the fabric changes, it did not lose its tension. Now let's see if the pink, let's see if that pink is going to show up on there. Yeah. So, let's actually, I'll try doubling it over. Let's see what it has to say when I double that. And that's about as thick as you'll want to go with the 301, because you're going to have a level of thickness that may or may not go under the foot. So let me set this up and we'll see what it does. Okay guys, what I did was I took my fabric and I folded it. So I had the 2 layers. Now I'm going to have 4. So I'm going to have 4 seams and 4 layers of my cargo pant, but I wanted to get a clean side so you could see the new stitching that it was doing. Sometimes it's hard to tell what line of stitches came from what run. So I'm going to hold her here, and it sewed right over. Like I say, I'll come back, make another run. And it's really amazing. Like I say, this is a stronger motor than what the Featherweight had, and the Featherweight could probably do this as well. So now you'll see the stitches, and notice, even with doubling this up, the stitches hold true, and I'll turn it over, you can see the pink, sort of a light pink thread there. So what you're seeing is a machine that, again, it is a straight stitch machine. It has a rotary hook. There are 3 Singer machines that are legendary for people who sew wedding gowns and couture gowns, quilters. The Featherweight, the successor to the Featherweight, the 301A, as well as the Singer 201. I've restored all of those machines many times, and I have machines that are heavier when you're starting to sew garment leather and heavy tarps and duck cloth. I have other machines I prefer for that. This will do it, but this machine will really shine if you are a quilter or you are a garment maker, and it will give you stitches like you just saw that are just amazing. And if you want a vintage machine that you can actually take someplace, if you're one of those people that needs portability, there are very few options. This and the Featherweight are it. So anyway, if you have questions, feel free to email me. If you are an experienced sewer, I'd love to have you come by and do some test stitching on the machine. You can arrange a time with me. You can also, if you're new to sewing, I'm happy to demonstrate the machine for you, and I can even teach you how to use it. It's remarkably simple. Anyway, just thanks for watching, guys. This is, again, one of my favorite machines to restore. Singers are a joy to work on for me, and sometimes some of the models will take quite a while, but this one is a real joy to work on. I believe this one comes with a carrying case, but you'll see photos on my Craigslist post that will show all of the work and a lot of the things, and I'll list out all the different things I did to the machine to get it ready for another lifetime of service. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this and it was helpful, and if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.